T, and in this video, I'm going to go over the reflection journal instructions and the quiz instructions too. So you heard me refer to these already in the syllabus video, but this gives you more detail about how to complete these each week, okay? So the reflection journal and the quizzes are both weekly opportunities to earn 10 points at a time, but you don't have to do all of them, okay? It's your responsibility to do 10 reflection journals between now and the end of the semester. You have 16 opportunities to complete 10 reflection journals, okay? And so only 10 of them are going to count. You can't do extra ones for extra credit. You just do 10. And the way you get credit for 10 is you follow these instructions. So you either are going to get credit or no credit. And to get credit, you just follow these instructions with the length and the topic choices and the deadline for turning it in. If you don't follow length, if you don't follow the topics of the week, if you don't turn it in on time, then you don't get credit for it. You can't make up anything. You are supposed to skip some of them. So if you miss a deadline, then that is simply going to be one of the ones that you skip. And let me just say right now, a lot of times we know we're going to be out of town. We know we're going to have some kind of event that's probably going to make us too tired, or we just don't want to do the reflection journal. If you already know you've got a wedding, a birthday, or whatever to go to, then go ahead and plan your own schedule right now so that you do your reflection journals and your quizzes on some other weekend. Reflection journals and quizzes are always due on Sunday night at midnight. They open at Monday morning and they close on Sunday at midnight, but you can do them any time in that window. So if you know you're busy some weekend, get it done earlier in the week, or just plan to skip it that particular week. If your electricity goes out, if you have a kid in the emergency room, if your cat submits it before it's finished, whatever the reason is that you might not submit a reflection journal or a quiz that you intended to submit, no, I'm not going to reopen it for you. You're supposed to skip it. I'm sorry if you have any of those unfortunate events, but don't worry about your reflection journal and your quiz assignment when those unfortunate events happen. You're supposed to skip them. So just don't worry about it. Skip 6 reflection journals. But if you want to do a reflection journal and you want credit for it, then you must submit it before the due date and time, which is always 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night. Okay. So the link to submit it will disappear after 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night. So you do it anytime you see that link, you go ahead and do it and submit it. But after that link is gone, I'm not going to reopen it for you. You have to summarize your class lessons for the week. Just reflect and recall what we talked about that week. 300 words in paragraph format. That's all it is. You are going to look at your notes that you've taken from the online lectures that I have made for you. Sometimes I curate a video lecture or documentary that goes along with the topics that we're covering. And so you will take notes on that also. And you reflect on what did we cover that week. And 300 words, paragraph format, and that is another one of the requirements. Turning it in on time before the due date and time, and making it 300 words. That's another. Those are 2 of the requirements. You choose your own topic, but it has to be one of the topics that we've covered that week. That's another requirement. You can't jump ahead to a chapter that looks exciting. You can't jump back to a previous lesson that you already skipped. You have to write a reflection journal about the topics that we are covering that particular week. Okay, so that is another requirement to get credit. You choose what you write about, and the way you choose is take notes on the video topics and whatever stands out to you as important or interesting or confusing, whatever you need to review so that you can understand it better. That's how you choose a topic. Listen carefully to the video lectures that I make for you because sometimes in the video lectures, I will suggest, I'll say, oh, here would be a great topic for you to do for a reflection journal this particular week. So listen to my video lectures, not only to take notes on the on the topics that we're discussing and to write down some of the description that we cover in those topics. But you will hear me suggest from time to time topics to write about. But you don't need me ever to suggest anything. You can simply summarize your notes from that particular week and stop when you get to 300 words. That's the requirement. That would fit this requirement always. If you ever cite something other than class materials, actually, even when you cite class materials, like if you're going to talk about lecture 2 from week 3, then say that in your paragraph. Say week 2 lecture 3 said blah blah blah, and I want to say this about it, so even cite your class materials, definitely your book. But if you talk about a movie or a news story, a current event, there's a if we cover earthquakes in your class, because I teach geography and sociology and social problems and cultural geography, so whatever the topics are that we cover, if we're covering earthquakes and plate tectonics and there's a big earthquake in Haiti or something, that's a current event, you can certainly cite the news story that you are look at what happened and relate it to the topics we discussed in class. Simply summarize and reflect, very casual, very informal. Cite your sources in the writing. You do not have to use any kind of special citation style. If some other teacher requires it and you just want practice, then go ahead and practice with me. But I don't require a citation style in order to earn points. I just want to make sure that you cite everything. It's clear to me where you're getting this information. And so make sure you cite everything informally or formally, whatever your style is. That's going to be fine with me. 5 of the 10 reflection journals that you do have to have an outside source in it. An outside source means any article, movie, TV show, song lyrics, any of these kinds of things. If you're in my social problems class, for instance, and there is a novel that you're reading in your world literature class that talks about the very issues that we're discussing in class, then use that novel from your world history class or world literature class as an outside source. Tell me what it is and what the topic is that they're discussing and how it relates to our topics in class. So anything can be an outside source. It does not have to be something from the library databases. It can be a news article. It can be a meme that you saw on Instagram that you download and you show it to me in your reflection journal, and you can say, this reminded me of class, why, here's why, and you tell me in your content. So the outside sources are supposed to occur to you individually as you are listening to, taking notes on, and completing the content of the class each week. So I sometimes give suggestions for outside sources, but honestly, you're the one who's supposed to come up with these ideas on your own. You can go to the discussion board that I mentioned in the syllabus video. You can go to the discussion board and say, hey, what outside source is somebody using for this particular week? And your classmates can interact with you and tell you, their ideas. Y'all get extra credit for participating in that discussion board. So interact with your classmates to find ideas for outside sources. Listen carefully to my video content to hear whether I have suggested an outside source. But you're supposed to include an outside source when they occur to you. 5 times this semester, you have to do that out of your 10. 5 out of your 10, you have to do that. And if you do that, then you'll get credit for all 10 that you turn in. So that's the instructions for the journal. Make sure that you set a reminder in your phone to alert you when one is going to be due. I would give yourself a 2-day notice or something. They are due on they're due on Sunday nights, so make sure you give yourself a couple, several hours notice if you're going to put a reminder in your phone, because do not trust the Blackboard calendar. I don't know why, but it doesn't get stuff right. Sometimes you'll look at the activity stream and it'll say something was due in November. Okay, well, this is January, right? So you don't have to, you don't have anything due in November. So, I don't know how and why to find these places where it's given you incorrect due dates. So Please pay attention to that. Okay, quizzes are much the same way as reflection journals. Here's a typo right here. It's supposed to be 170 points instead of 160 listed here. You have 17 opportunities to do quizzes. I'm only going to count your 10 high scores. So do as many quizzes as you possibly can, but the link disappears at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night. The link disappears, and no, I'm not going to open it up again for you for whatever reason. That's just going to be one of the low scores that I drop. So take as many of the 17 quizzes as you possibly can. The quizzes cover the weekly content. I would do the reflection journal for the week before you do the quiz. It'll just help that you have the content on your mind. And the quiz will be easier for you. It's not designed to be tricky. It's just a pulse check to make sure you're keeping up with the assignment. It's just designed to be an easy way for you to earn 10 points at a time and keep your finger on the pulse of the class. So when those larger assignments come up every 3 or 4 weeks, you've got your notes done, you've got the topics in mind, and you'll be able to more easily earn those 100-point assignments. You'll do much, much better on it. Okay? So that's a tour of the reflection journal instructions and quiz instructions. So please review this again. If you if you need to understand something better, one of these points better, go back in the video and listen to it over again, or text me with questions. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.